Hey guys, welcome back to Travel Check-ins with Saidah
and Germaine.
And today we are going to be sharing some reverse culture shocks with you guys. We are currently back in the US for the holidays, right?
Yeah.
And do you feel like some things are different now that we've been in Kenya for a little bit over 3 months and now we're back in the US?
I do. I feel like everything is different now. Actually, to be honest with you, kind of ready to go back.
Me too. Me too.
We still got a while to be here, but you know.
Yeah.
It is what it is.
I woke up this morning and we were getting ready for the gym, and I said, "Man, I'm ready to go back to Kenya."
Yeah.
And we love America. This is where we were born.
Right.
It's just that we do actually like Kenya quite a bit. So one of the reverse culture shocks, and we don't want to be cliche, but we've learned that there are actually reverse culture shocks when you live in another country for a while and then you really immerse yourself in that culture and then you come back. You do notice some differences. So Germaine, talk to us about the first one that we noticed when we came back, which is like the faucet water here in the US versus non-potable water in Kenya.
Well, what people have to remember is like Kenya's non-potable to a lot of people. Not like some Kenyans will drink, you know, the water,
faucet water, yeah,
and it depends on the location and all of that.
And it depends on where your water is coming from, borehole versus city water, right?
Right, but our friend basically told us don't drink the water, because one thing I realized, okay, when you take somebody from Nairobi and you go out to the village, they can't drink that water,
right? Because
it's a little different than what the system used to. But the people in the village, sometimes it's nothing. Even the water is brown a little bit.
Yeah.
So us going to Nairobi, it's just best not to drink the water. Even at the hotel we stay at,
they tell us not to drink the water from the faucet and from the tap.
One of our friends said don't even brush your teeth with it. Use that Jibu water.
Yeah, so we actually order water to our apartment when we're in Kenya, and we also use bottled water. So that's a lot of what we do when we're in Kenya. We just drink a lot of bottled water.
Yeah, and it's not like that one is probably the least out of everything, because okay, I'm looking for my cup. I said, oh, I don't need a cup. I could just come directly out of the tap here. And
we don't even really drink tap water here in the U.S. We drink bottled water.
It's more the teeth brushing.
But it was the teeth brushing, like when we got back, because when we're in Nairobi, we use a pitcher of water in the bathroom or water bottles to rinse our toothbrush and to brush and to even rinse. But when we were here, I think we were hesitant about taking the water from the tap and rinsing our mouths with the water. And then we're like, okay, we're back in the U.S. We can do it.
Yeah.
Another thing that was a culture shock was the weather. So let's talk about the difference in weather. And when did you actually feel that culture shock from leaving Nairobi to hitting the cold?
Well, when we got to Amsterdam on the way back and the plane got canceled, we had to go outside to a hotel.
With no coat.
Well, we had coats.
Jacket. We didn't have coats.
Well, we had jackets, and a short sleeve shirt, and man, it was freezing cold. And actually, when we got back here, it was cold too. But now, when we are in South Carolina, it's like moderate. It's kind of like Nairobi weather right now, but it's going to change this weekend. It's getting cold this weekend, so
yeah. Because you see, I got a short sleeve on today, and that's because it's warm today. It's like what, 70?
It'll be 70 Fahrenheit. It's a pretty nice, chill day, like being in Nairobi. But as soon as 2 more days comes, it's going to be cold.
How did we prepare for the weather change?
I just bought longer clothes, bigger clothes. That's it. I ain't really do anything else.
Well, one of the things you was trying to encourage me to buy a coat, and then I was like really resistant because I just.
Well, you still didn't buy it.
I didn't buy it. I didn't buy it. But did you even pull your coat out of storage? Because we do have some stuff in storage.
Yeah, my coat's here. Remember, we pulled out by mistake, but I'm gonna wear it probably this weekend if it gets super cold. Well, why not?
And if it gets super cold, I don't have a coat, but I will probably just borrow a coat from my daughter just to use while I'm here.
I double up.
I didn't want to spend that money on a coat because we just don't particularly need it in Nairobi and need it year round. So it does make us appreciate the climate, and I think that's one of the things we talk about a lot when we talk with our clients in the one-on-one consultations for the Kenya to Nairobi visit or relocation is the weather. How much we love the weather in Kenya, right?
Right. I mean, everybody knows that watches us. It's my favorite weather in the world, being in Nairobi. Nairobi is specific. So
it's your favorite weather in the world?
that I've been a part of. I hadn't been everywhere in the world.
Better than San Diego?
Yeah, San Diego is second. Now we went through San Diego. Yeah, San Diego second. San Diego is lovely now. Don't get it twisted.
Wasn't San Diego first on your list at one time?
Well, I hadn't been there.
But I'm saying, like, just from what you knew?
Yeah, it was number 2. I mean, I still would go back just because of the weather, but...
but Kenya has it beat.
Yeah, to me, yeah.
That's amazing. We love the weather in
Nairobi,
Kenya.
specifically.
We love the weather in Nairobi.
Kenya can get hot.
And it can get cold by Mount Kenya.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, let's talk about the culture shock of traffic lights and driving. I don't think the lights so much was an issue, but Germaine, because Germaine does most of the driving, so I'm going to ask him this question.
Right.
Did you struggle with transitioning back to orderly? Well, you didn't drive in Kenya, but did you struggle with transitioning back to driving after not driving for 3+ months?
I don't think so.
Yeah.
I mean, like I said, I've been driving since I was like 12 or 13, and I'm 51. I just missed like 4 months of it.
Okay.
So no, once I got behind the wheel, it was the same thing. But I'm never driving in Nairobi. At least I don't plan on it no time soon.
Oh wait, okay. So me as a passenger in the car, it did seem like Germaine was a little rusty. Some of those short stops you were doing, Germaine, come on now, you don't typically do that.
No, see, yeah, you
what
put
was
a
that
little
about?
bit of sauce on it because how long was I behind the wheel at that time? What were you talking about?
Just a couple of, like, maybe about an hour or two when we were driving through San Diego from the airport I'm talking about.
Right.
I remember you like making these short stops and you was like, okay, I got you. Remember?
Yeah, because you were being dramatic. It wasn't like...
If you giving me whiplash.
Nah, you ain't get whiplash. I mean, it's traffic. Like, chill out.
They don't do that in Nairobi. They be close cars, close by, and they don't jerk me all over the place.
That's a lie. They jerk all over the place.
No.
Okay.
But so what was your biggest driving culture shock upon returning? Don't say it wasn't anything, because I'm gonna tell you what you mentioned if you say it wasn't anything.
Well, you better tell me what I mentioned, because I'm about to say nothing.
The gas prices in San Diego.
Okay, now I don't know what the gas prices is in Nairobi, so I can't really go by that because they go by liters and we go by gallon. San Diego, California is just something totally different because they're double what we pay since we've been back in South Carolina. So that's just totally different.
So would you say you had a culture shock in the gas prices from Columbia, South Carolina to
California?
San Diego, California?
Well, I knew what I was in for.
But you didn't really feel the shock of it until you was at the pump?
That's a lot of money for 4 gallons.
How much was it for 4
like
gallons?
$20.
So let's talk about customer service and hospitality. So one of the things that I harp on is how when you're a tourist and you're coming to Nairobi, like the hospitality industry really caters to tourists. So I want to talk about did the pace of service or how service was in the US feel different to us than what we experienced in Nairobi?
To me, right, overall, because you got different cases.
Yeah.
Overall, I would say Nairobi's customer service, man, I don't know, because I had different kind of experiences in Nairobi's customer service as I think about it.
What about?
It's not great.
So let's specify. What about in the tourist arena? Like when we arrive at a hotel in Nairobi
That's
versus
top-notch.
arriving at a hotel here in the U.S.
To me, they are much more personable in Nairobi. Well, I like it. They're more, hey, yeah, that kind of stuff.
And they know, they call you by name. Hi, Mr. Washington. Hi, Mrs. Washington. It's like they're anticipating you coming.
Right, but a lot of that's new, so here they're probably a little more efficient, just to be honest with you. Mm-hmm. But I can take a little non-efficiency when you got good personality and customer service, so I kind of rather Nairobi, to be honest with you. Because
even our experience when we checked in at the hotel in Columbia, downtown Columbia, like the experience was like, if I had to rate it from 0 to 10, I would rate that check-in experience like a 2.
I would do like a 5 because there's nothing. It wasn't. Because, yeah.
You said a 5. I'm like a 2.
No, because what I mean is she wasn't rude, but she just wasn't overly courteous either. She was kind of like monotone.
Oh no, I found her to be kind of rude. Like we were talking and she was just like, "What's your name? what's your this? What's your... And I'm like, lady, yeah.
She probably tired like me.
So there is a difference in tone. There's a difference in like the experience when you get to the hotel. But I will say, like in Nairobi, like with the follow-up, if you have an issue with something, like last night we had an issue with the fire pit, and the lady, she did it almost immediately, right?
It depends on the level of hotel too, so sometimes.
Yeah, and that's what Germaine was talking about, like efficiency. Like when we're in Nairobi, it's like sometimes you have an issue, it takes about a little while sometimes for the issue to be addressed. The next one on our list is consumer culture. So we are returning here to the US, and it's the holiday season, so it's a really big time for shopping and selling and stuff like that, would you say?
Yeah, so when you say consumer culture, you mean like them hurrying you up kind of thing?
No, more so constant sales and trying to get you to buy stuff and shopping events and materialism. So I know we talked a little bit about like how when we got back, we're starting to see more name brands again and really expensive brands. See, it's twofold.
Yeah. I like Nairobi, Kenya specifically. Well, I'm talking about Kenya specifically. I like the whole country because, like, they're not on the materialism and the high price items like that. People want to look nice, but you don't have to have $400 pair of jeans or something like that.
Or $400 pair of socks. Remember we were looking on the website and looking at some socks, and a pair of socks was $400.
Right. I mean, but I get it. But the thing is, now I will say they give it a little room to breathe sometime here, because especially I go in that mall and I'm go walk through that food court. It's a madhouse in there.
Yeah.
I'm like, I gotta try to get away.
Yeah.
So it all depends on what you're used to. Like I will say in the States, they do try to have good customer service, but you're going to pay for it. And you're going to pay a lot for a good customer service.
So now that you're back in the U.S., do you feel like there's a pull for us to like spend money? Now that it's the holiday season, right? This is the time of year when it's time to spend and buy stuff and exchange gifts and all those things.
It's more than pull. You gonna spend money. There ain't no if, ands, or buts.
Never.
Yeah, well, unless you're gonna stay in the house and do nothing, because you just take money here. That's just all to it. Compared to Nairobi, and the rest of Kenya is definitely just a whole another galaxy away.
Yeah, so the consumption patterns are definitely different. I don't really feel like I'm being pushed to buy anything. I realize it's the Christmas holiday coming up. Germaine and I, we budget down to the penny, so we've already thought through what we're going to actually spend this holiday season. But I do find that it's a little bit of a pull for us to spend a little bit more money on ourselves this holiday season. We didn't have. I mean, we didn't believe with everything we thought we wanted to go to Nairobi, so we just finishing the list. Really, that's about it. And we still looking for deals. Right, we are looking for deals, but like even when we're looking for stuff, the price tags on some things are kind of high, but it is some things that we are talking through and that we just actually want, and you're just gonna have to pay the price if you actually want them. So let's talk about the tipping culture. And I'm going to tell you guys, Germaine is the tipper. I was going to say the big tipper, but I mean to say Germaine is the tipper of the two of us. And when you say that, you mean you tip, but you know it's not going to tip at every little thing that goes on. Yeah, I think Germaine is going to tip a lot more freely and more frequently than I do. And I cut back. Yeah, but I know here in the U.S. there is a really strong tipping culture, and if you go on YouTube and you look it up, a lot of people are really pushing back against this tipping culture. I'm one of those people. And what that means for those of you who don't understand is like you can go to the store and you can buy a cookie, and your cookie will be $8, and then on top of that, they asking you on the pad, do you want to tip 25%? 45%, 75%, and you're like, what? Well, see, this is what I realized. If you go online, people like, if you don't want to tip, don't go. Yeah. Like I tip, like if somebody brings me my food or a waiter or something like that, I'm gonna tip
regardless, right? Well, unless you're just crazy.
Yeah, unless you just like horrible at your job.
But what they do here is the businesses try to put the wages on the consumer. So when you go, instead of them paying their employees a livable wage, they want you to feel bad and put a tip on there so they can get paid more money for just standing at a counter. I'm getting at the point now where I don't even want to deal with the counter.
Me too.
Because they try to shame you to a certain extent.
Yeah.
Because they put it right in your face. I say, you know what?
And then the person look at you dead in the eyes.
Look at them dead in the eye. I was like, you know what? I feel uncomfortable.
Yeah.
Now I go here. I don't know how much I'm paying for anything. And the employer is going to try to make me pay his employees.
Yes.
And I can't do that everywhere I go.
Yes,
I
and
mean,
especially with the price of things. Like Germaine and I, you know, we're buying things and we're realizing the prices were already high. Yeah. But now, you know, so even with the tipping culture, so they're asking you to tip on the iPad, but then they have jars at the counter. So you're tipping on the iPad and then there's like a push to tip in the jars. Me, I've just made up my mind that I'm not tipping on the iPad. Like, that's just I'm
not even going. I ain't gonna lie. I'm just sick of going. I'm not even looking at it no more. So I just hang back until I get back to the motherland.
Yeah, and it's just a lot easier to tip in Nairobi because the cost of living is just different.
And you're not tipping for every little thing. It's in Nairobi, we do a lot of Ubis. Every time they come, I'm tipping. It's probably once or twice because they just did a horrible job. And you
tip on Ubers too?
Yeah, Uber sometimes, not all the time.
It depends on the driver.
If they go above and beyond, I give them a little something. But if they're just doing whatever, I'm gonna do whatever too.
But even when we go to restaurants, it's very comforting, and that when we go and we make a purchase and they tell us how much our food is, you just put your card in and you're paying just that.
Yeah.
It's not like on the receipt is a line for tip and
they should never start that. I'm gonna stop going out there too, just to be honest with you. I just hope they keep it like they do, and we're, you know, because it's really enjoyable to go out there.
Right, when the tip is a gift versus somebody feeling like they're just digging their hand in your pocket. And I'm not talking about the hostess or the server.
Right.
I'm talking about the person who owns the company.
Right. I don't mind giving a gift, but the gift is from the heart, not you making me do it.
Yeah, you compelling me to do it. So the next one we want to take a look at is food and grocery prices. Have we experienced any sticker shock at the grocery store or restaurants after experiencing cheaper costs in Kenya?
Well, it's the grocery thing we knew, right? So I can't say anything has been a shock.
Yeah. Because
we knew this. But when we were in California, we ordered Chick-fil-A and we got it delivered to the room and it was over $40.
Ooh, child.
And I was like, for a chicken sandwich?
2 chicken sandwiches, 2 fries, 1 medium, 1 small, and a beverage. $40.
Over $40.
Over $40.
It won't get me again.
And it was like lukewarm. Not saying anything was wrong, but it was delivery food. But it was like, man,
it was a bad experience.
It's like you didn't even enjoy, because we were waiting to have Chick-fil-A when we got back to the U.S. But the price of it took away from the experience, and then the fact that it wasn't hot.
Well, we got over here, it was a little cheaper, but
it was a little cheaper. How much did we pay for Chick-fil-A yesterday?
It was still higher than Nairobi, over $20.
Over $20.
24, 25 probably.
And we actually got more food yesterday than we did in San Diego, and we paid less money.
But we didn't have a drink though.
Yeah, but we had 2 macaronis yesterday, larger fries. So
but we knew this coming in.
We did. But it's definitely a sticker shock because you get a lot more food for your money at some of the restaurants in Nairobi, because usually we'll have leftovers. Right. When we eat Chick-fil-A, there is no leftovers, and sometimes Germaine says he's still hungry. Like he said last night, he was
a little bit, but I'm fine.
Not starving, but just a little bit. So how has the prices, if they have, how have they impacted our budgeting and meal planning?
I mean, I don't know if it's really impacted at all. We just got, I mean, you got to eat. What else
can
you
I
gonna
say
do?
How?
You can.
So when we're in Nairobi, we go to one of our favorite coffee shops probably a few mornings a week, and you can check out that video. We have a video on our favorite coffee shop in Nairobi. And here we went for coffee. The second day we were here, how much did we pay for 2 cups of coffee?
Like $17.
Plus tip.
No, that's with the tip.
Oh,
and the
okay.
tip was only like 75 cents.
So we paid $17 for 2 cups of coffee. How much do we pay for coffee at our favorite barista in Nairobi?
At the most, I think we paid was like $6, but usually it's about 4 or 5.
Yeah, so that was very, very different. So, and it has impacted our meal planning, because I want to go back to, so we're in Charleston today. Are we in Charleston?
Yeah.
We're in Charleston, South Carolina today. And I have a favorite coffee shop here, but we paid $17 for the coffee. Why aren't we going for coffee every other day though?
Because of the money.
You know I want one, right?
Yeah.
But I don't get it, because $17 for 2 cups of coffee is just a lot of money. So would you say that it does impact our decision?
I guess so.
Okay, so the next one on the list is going to be ride share prices. And Germaine will be able to talk to us a little bit more about that, because I think he paid for the first Uber we took when we got here. Didn't we take an Uber? When we got to Columbia. So how does it feel returning to expensive ride share services like Uber and Lyft compared to the Uber and Lyft in Nairobi?
Well, I'm gonna be honest with you, it doesn't affect me much. Yeah, I paid one time I paid like $30, right?
When we got back?
Yeah, but we got a car here, so
yes.
I mean, for somebody else, yes, that would be a big thing. But for me, the impact is minimal because we're driving now. So
okay,
yeah.
But how did you react to the first ride share bill?
Well, again, I prepared my mind when I came. I already knew I was out. Once we got to San Diego, I was like, okay, we're not in Kenya anymore.
Okay.
So I already knew it was probably going to be about $30, just to be honest with you.
But when you were looking at the rideshare app, when we were in the baggage claim area, and you saw that it was like
sometimes I got to 50. I had to wait. Yeah.
So all right, because I was gonna say you was looking at the app and you was like $50.
Yeah, but I waited till I know it was gonna come down, so I just waited for a few minutes and let it come on down. And I said, okay, I only got one ride I got to do, so it was all good. I mean, you're just gonna pay over here.
Yes. How much of that is our budget? Like, so we budget about $150 for ride shares when we're in
$150,
Nairobi.
$180, something like that.
And so we paid about $30, and I think about $30 for the first ride share. So that's a big chunk.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's like a week.
I know, because we usually pay about how much for rides when we're in Nairobi?
About $3, $2, $3, depending on where we're going. We go to over there near South Sea and all that kind of stuff.
Yeah,
that's more like $8. Yeah.
So those are some of the things that we experienced as Reverse Culture Shack being back here in the US. And we just wanted to share those with you guys. We hope you guys enjoyed this video. Make sure you like, subscribe, drop your comments down in the comment section, because when we get to 10,000 views, we are going to do something very special. What's that?
Yeah, take this DNA test. See where we're from, where we originate.
We're going to see if he's Kikuyu or not. And also, you guys, if you are considering moving to Kenya or visiting Kenya, we have a link down in the description box. If you want to hop on a call with us and chat with us about that, you can. Thank you so much for watching this video, and we will catch you in the next one. Kwaheri.